Welcome to lesson 12 of component 3 A and B. This is it. You have reached the end of the first finance learning aim. Well done. You've worked hard, hopefully, throughout the whole term on this. But this is it. This is the final one. Financial documents. For this lesson then you're going to look at basic financial documents, things like purchase orders, delivery notes, invoices and credit notes, and they go in that order because you need to make a request. You want to purchase, then your goods get delivered, then you pay for them, and then if there's a mistake there's a credit note. So those are the key documents we're looking at. So you're going to look at completing them and understanding the accuracy and what could possibly go wrong if you're not accurate. If you're watching this on video, then the following activities that you're going to get throughout the video, then I suggest we find some pen paper. You can, if it's line paper, you're sorted, but you might need a pencil and a ruler if you want to draw the boxes to make sure it's all nicely laid out. Lesson 12, financial documents. The best way to learn about financial documents would be to actually start filling them in. So we're going to have a go at those and we're going to look at some and we're going to go from there. Exercise 1. You need to complete the following table about purchase orders. You need to have a look at find out what they're used for, who sends them and who receives them. The last two columns I'd like you to use the words supplier and customer only. So you've not got much to fill in. Off you go. Exercise 2. Here's a half-written purchase order for you to complete. This one is for Heather Shaw Electrical Supplies, who are going to purchase some stationery. You've got the information at the top here, the 10 boxes, the 5 boxes, the 2 computer desks. You need to complete the purchase order, the unit price, the total price, the descriptions, the subtotal, the VAT, which is 20%, and then add them all up. And don't forget to sign it. Exercise 3. Let's have another look at a purchase order. You're now working for Games Warehouse and your manager has asked you to order the following stock. You've got 3 bullet points with all the stock on there. Working the way down, you need to write who it's to, you need to write the order number and the date, and then you need to write product code, the quantity of products, the description, then the unit price, and then the multiples of the unit price in that final right hand column. Then we've got some totals down below. You've got to add up all the totals so far of the 3 items. Then when you've got the total of the 3 items, you can put that in the subtotal 1 box. From then you can work out the discount, the 5% discount. So in that box you just write down the discount, and for subtotal 2 it's subtotal 1 subtract discount, so you got the new answer in subtotal 2. Then you need to work out VAT, which is 20%, and you deduct the 20% from subtotal 2. Exercise 4. We're sticking with purchase orders. Yes, here it is again, but this time we're going to do things slightly differently. There's mistakes, there's errors on this one. You need to circle all the calculation errors, and here's a clue. There's a lot of them, and on the next page I'd like you to write out a correct one. The layout's already given for you, so you just need to follow the same descriptions on this page. And before you go on to that though is question C. What problems might be caused if these errors went out in a real purchase order? Thinking about question 4C, what problems might occur if the purchase orders were wrong. Think about if the amount was ordered, that's the wrong order, then who does that affect? That affects the people preparing the order, because they might have to get more stock and they might not be able to afford the stocks, and then that's an issue. If you have to pay them for it and you've got the number wrong, so you might have to be debited, and that's way too much in terms of your cash flow. Let's have a think. Are there any more issues that you hold in stock that you didn't want to hold, and so you've got storage issues? There's actually where does the error lie? Is it your error or is it the supplier's error? So maybe then up pops an argument, and then that impacts on working relationships. Well, there's a few areas where it could go wrong. You need to summarize those and some more of your own. This is from exercise 4, the last slide. So this is where you are writing out the correct purchase order based on the details you've just seen. This is an example of a delivery note. A delivery note provides information for the customer when an item is delivered, just as you would expect. It basically tells them what is in the package and how much is there. This allows the customer to check the items against the delivery note to check that they have received what they were expecting. The customers sign the delivery note to accept delivery of the package. The delivery note for Express News, the one that Express News placed with News Warehouse, might look something like this. Here's an example of an invoice. This is where the seller is asking for their money for it to be paid for the goods they've provided. Exercise 5. You're looking at Get Cover, who has sent the following goods to All Things Outdoor, and you need to complete the invoice. Now, Gary on the last slide was where you last saw an example invoice. So flick back and forth so you can look out how it needs to be filled in. But remember, for this one, there's different details. Credit notes. A credit note is sent from a seller to a purchaser when an item is faulty, damaged or missing from a delivery. Essentially, it is a refund to a customer's account that can be used at a later date against a future order. Think of the times when you or your family take something back to a shop. Occasionally, you might be given a refund card so that you can buy something again from the shop in the future. So this is your go in actually filling one in for the company called the Chocolate Drop. This is exercise 6. You've got all the information there next to Squidward, I think that's his name, and you've got to fill that document in. Exercise 7. Here's a purchase order for Rizal Toys, and this is an exam style question and the layout. So you've given the information at the top and you need to complete the purchase order in front of you. This is something you've seen before. We've gone over it for the few examples. The idea is that you go back over the practice ones to see just how accurate you can make this one for exercise 7. Exercise 8, the delivery note. You need to complete this using the information on the last slide. This is the delivery of the goods you've just completed the document for. And if you want an example of how to complete a delivery note, it's the information just before you saw Gary. It's a SpongeBob slide. That should give you an example. And you're completing the delivery note for the goods delivered to Rizal Toys in Wellington. You are Toys Are You. You want to ask Rizal Toys for the money, so you need to complete an invoice because you want to make sure that Rizal Toys pay for the goods they've received. It's your job now to use the information from slide 12 and complete the invoice. Exercise 10, the last exercise. Everybody likes to receive a credit note. Obviously not always for the reason. For the reason on this one, it is there's some damaged goods. Oh no. You need to complete the credit note as Toys R You has informed Rizzle Toys of the problems with the order. So you've got the same details we're going to use from slide 12, but this time around there's faults with the product, so you've got to issue the credit note.